Hi, everybody. We are back. It's the three of us, holistically speaking. I'm Dr. Catherine Jackson. I'm here with Ronelda and Sheila again. And today we are talking about mindful eating. So, before I even say a word about mindful eating, I want to let you know this is not medical advice. We're just sharing from our own thoughts, and we're throwing us some ideas out there about what it is kind of initially. And so, with that, my thoughts on mindful eating is that it is being mindful of every step. And so I know, like Renelda, you have tea meditations that you do. Wonderful, right? And so you're picking the tea that you want. You're steeping the tea. You're doing everything, and you're very mindful about it. And so mindful eating is pretty much like that. You want to be mindful of what you buy, how you prepare it, and even how you consume it, so that you're not eating too fast and mindlessly. And you look up and you had a whole meal and you don't know where the meal went like 5 minutes later. So that's kind of what mindful eating is, and what it is not is calorie counting. It's not a diet, so we're not promoting any kind of diet, but just paying attention and being very intentional about what you eat and how you eat it. And so, Renelda, tell us a little bit about your journey and all the good things that we got going on here with Holistically Speaking.
Yeah, so before I start on my own mindful eating journey, I want to make sure that we put the word out there that we do have a e-cookbook. We each have recipes in these cookbooks. They are whole foods, plant-based, and very connected to our culture and upbringing. So if you haven't tried it out, make sure you go to all of our websites and you can download it right now. And if you have tried it, put in the comments, let us know, how did that cookbook work for you? Did you find any recipe that you really liked that was helpful for you? But for my own journey, one of the things mindful eating means to me is to be very present and to be intentional. I know how easy it is to get busy, go and grab something like fast food. You eat it really quickly, you didn't really enjoy it, and sometimes you don't even remember that you ate it. So, you know, and using all of our senses is very important because our senses connect us to memories. So my focus is really on like how to recreate positive memories, especially if you've experienced like traumatic events. Those things are connected to our senses, and if we can connect those, we can connect more helpful and healthier memories for ourselves or reestablish those memories. So I'm all about finding ways to slowly take a daily practice and make it a very intentional and slow it down. So some things that have helped me to do that is maybe have a friend where you're having a great discussion, because the more you're talking, the slower you're eating, right? But it also intensifies taste for you. And another thing that I really love, things that smell really good. Um, so smell, what's interesting about smell is that it bypasses all the other senses don't go, and it helps with bringing up emotions and memories too. So if you have something that smells very comforting, something that makes you remember, maybe you have that special person in your life that was very comforting, caregiver or whatever, and it just reminds you of that kindness, you know, go for that or find ways to incorporate it so you can remember feeling that form of kindness again. So that's my way of doing mindful eating.
Awesome. Can I
What
share
about you,
mine?
Sheila? Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of education before I talk about what I do too. So um, when we are stressed out, our digestion actually can slow down and even pause, right? When things are like critical, everything in our body is functioning to help us survive. And digesting your food is not that important in that moment. So part of mindful eating, just like these ladies said, is slowing down. And, just the principles of mindfulness in general do incorporate the five senses, again, just like Reynalda said. And the big thing about mindfulness that distinguishes it from other meditation practices is that you're doing it non judgmentally, right? And so what we do in our house, maybe I get a little bit judgmental when I see my husband on his phone at the kitchen table, is we have a no electronics policy. So we limit distractions when we're eating, and it's just the two of us. Well, because in our house, it's just the two of us, but it's the two of us eating together. We're eating communally. We don't have electronics and other distractions. So it's us, and we're doing it the way that our family, our ancestors did it traditionally. We're sitting down, we're having a community meal, we're eating slowly. In my cultural traditions, we eat with our hands, and I will tell you, I can taste the difference if I'm eating food with my hands or if I'm eating food with a utensil. And I prefer to eat with my hands, so I'm incorporating even more senses, slowing it down, limiting distractions, and I'm eating with people that I love. And this becomes like so much more than just a meal, right? It is an experience, it's an important part of my life. Okay, Dr. Catherine, what about you?
So I love what the both of you guys said, and especially that ancestral connection, Sheila. That was awesome. And so for me, with my journey with mindful eating, it's back and forth. It ebbs and flows. Even me, as a practitioner of these kind of things, sometimes I don't always get it right. And so at times when I'm pulling quick foods or junkier foods, I don't feel as good, and almost instantly after finishing whatever it is, I noticed that I I don't even feel good about this decision. So I always say, oh, you should have just taken a couple of more minutes, and then maybe you would have chose something a little bit better. And so one of my favorite things is that I found this gluten-free vegan donut, and that it looks pretty, it smells great, and we're talking about engaging all those different senses, even having it in my hand. So the very first time I was introduced to it, I ate it very mindfully. Like I took a bite, ate it really slow. The taste just seems like it was so good because I slowed down and didn't scarf it down like I might do with some other foods. And then I also garden, and just gardening in and of itself is extremely mindful for me. And then I love seeing it grow. It looks really pretty. And then I take the food, and because my garden is completely organic, completely edible, and then I will make different dishes with it. And I don't know, it's something about that just feels so good and so intentional. And Renelda, you have a garden. What do you think about
Yeah.
like the whole gardening?
Well, thank you, Dr. Catherine, for bringing up your garden. It sounds beautiful. I incorporate gardening not just for myself, but I also do therapeutic gardening with my clients. So we actually do the work of being in the garden. It's not just sitting pretty out there. But I know that when we do the work, we actually do enjoy things more because you're enjoying the bounty of your work. Gardening, it looks like it's very calm and relaxing, which it can be as long as you're mindfully doing it. But you put a lot of labor into it, a labor of love, making sure that you know something about each plant and what its needs are. And then when you harvest it, you wash it, you're preparing it. All those things, again, take all the senses. But because you spend so much time on it, you want to really just patiently, spend the time preparing it with you and your family. And so that actually starts the mindful process for me when I'm actually getting something straight out of the garden. But you can do mindful eating no matter what you're consuming. Stop slowing down and being present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like just so much love that you
Yeah.
put into cultivating, and then it goes into your body. That just sounds beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Was there anything else anybody wanted to add about their journey with mindful eating?
Well, we could go on and on
Yes.
about mindful eating and any of our topics, really. But if you want to learn how to eat more mindfully, work with any or all of us collectively, and we're happy to help you guys with getting set and on a good path towards mindful eating.
Yeah. So you can check our bios for our information. Obviously, we always put all our links in the comments as well. And so Reynalda mentioned this earlier. We have an ebook that we cultivated together that has a lot of recipes that have deep meaning to us with our connections, with our culture and our families, and things that you can really eat mindfully and also learn about the connection of food and your mood. So definitely check that out. Again, all of that is linked in our bios and the comments. So check that out if you haven't gotten the book yet. And also, we want to hear from you. Tell us about your journey with mindful eating. So you can put some comments in the chat. We want you to continue to like and share our information. Who can use this information? Who can benefit from this? Like, we want to talk about it here, but we want that conversation to keep going so that it comes into your life, right? Comes into your space. So keep watching these spaces. We have even more great content coming out. And feel free to leave comments, and you can also reach out to us if you want to work with us individually, or if you want Holistically Speaking to come and talk to you where you are and with your people.